One, 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 one. Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof. Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof. Welcome to one-on-one at Legacy Maker Sports Network. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for another episode of One-on-One here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. Not just any episode. We are finally here. We talked about it at the beginning of the season, episode 100. And who is the wonderful person that we had land on episode 100? None other than the amazing, the phenomenal, the Hall of Famer. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The one, the only, Renee Washington, sports reporter for ESPN and MSG Networks. Renee, it is an absolute honor to have you here for episode 100. How are you doing today?
Well, I am thrilled to be here. I'm so happy that I get to be on this monumental milestone episode of One-on-One for 100. So we've got zeros on zeros and phenomenal things going on. And I just love that intro, and it's got me hyped up and ready to go.
And, you know, that's the thing. You know, everybody says they love the intro. That makes me feel good. It usually sets the tone for a great show. So, look, Renee, once again, we are super glad to have you here. And we're ready to just kind of get into this bad boy. But, of course, you know, before we get rolling, we have to start off with the check-in. Renee, let's check in on you. Let's check in on you, your family, your friends. How is everything going right now for Renee Washington?
It's going. Every day is a blessing. Honestly, I'm just trying to enjoy and mix in and be better with balance and time off and some trips and traveling. And I know people keep saying, wow, your summer seems so busy. I'm like, that's what summer is for. This is the time of year to like get away and do different things. And I've been enjoying spending time with my family. And as we get ready for fall sports to officially kick off, I'm ready. I'm locked in, ready to go. So things are going all over here.
I say that's exactly how I feel. You know, fall sports is about to go down. We are pretty much, here's the mind blower for a lot of people out there. The NFL is literally like a week away. Like I think there's a Hall of Fame game next Friday, if I'm not mistaken. That's how close, or next Saturday, that's how close we are to football being back. And I remember 6 months ago, I was like, it's so long away. Well, guess what? It's right around the corner. But not just that. We've got a lot of great sports. You got field hockey, you got soccer, you got a little bit of everything about to go down. But I'm glad to hear that everybody is doing well, Renee. And that's a very beautiful thing. Very beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Well, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's find out about Renee Washington. Let's find out about young Renee. Young Renee. I want to know, Renee, when you were about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, where did that passion for sports come from? Where do you say, you know what? I want to be in sports in some form or the fashion. What made you become a sports fanatic, a fan? What made you have that passion for sports?
Well, I had told this many times, and I'm still find myself having to share because people don't realize that I come from a true sports family. I didn't just like one day decide, oh, I want to talk about sports. I actually literally eat, breathe, sleep sports, and that's been my entire life. And when you talk about family and sports go hand in hand. So my dad played professional basketball overseas. My mom played basketball. All of my siblings, we all played soccer, basketball, ran track in high school and college. I did go on to play professionally, but we've all played at a very high level. And then even my aunts, uncles, cousins, I've got relatives that have played in so many different sports, professional leagues. So a lot of not only just family get-togethers of like the day-to-day, but even like our cookouts and stuff, it's always around sports. Like we're the family sitting around eating burgers and hot dogs, talking sports. So I have been fortunate that that's literally been my background. And after transitioning from playing and coaching, reporting just made the most sense. And I've just been enjoying doing what I feel like my whole life has prepared me for. That like I get to practice every day, but it's normal because like I'm talking with my family about sports. I'm talking with my friends about sports. It's what I do. So the passion has been there right up there with breathing of like this is how important it is to me that I literally grew up going to games, watching games, trash talking, watching hardwood classics and NFL games and literally any sport possible, especially soccer, basketball, and football. So that's where it all began.
Just a little bit of everything. The Washingtons don't play games. This is what I learned from this. Washingtons don't play games. They're a sports family. Don't mess with them because we all talented. That's what I got from that.
A lot of pro athletes. It's very competitive. It's very cutthroat, but it's very fun because that's like what unites us. That a lot of our memories have been around sports, whether it's going to games and tournaments or watching games. I have a lot of fond memories around sports with family right there. So that's 6 and 7-year-old me was on the soccer field, on the basketball court, on the tennis court, swimming, playing softball, playing every sport possible. Just immersed in it from day one.
You name it. I was there. There it is. Yeah. There it is. Well, you talked a little bit about your college career. Kind of want to get into that now. Before I go too deep, I wanted to read off some of the greatness that the Hall of Famer out of LaSalle had going on here. So it's a long list, but we're just gonna go through a little bit. All right, so and we got not just on the she was very smart as well, y'all. 2010 to 2014, she was all honor roll for the commissioner's honor roll for the Atlantic 10 Conference, which we cover here on the Legacy Maker Sports work quite a bit. She was on the 2010 Atlantic all rookie team. We're also looking at she was a 2013 all tournament A10 all tournament MVP on the all tournament team in 2010, 12, and 13. Made some NCAA tournament appearances. Pretty much, a two-time A10 tournament champion in 12 and 13. I could go on and on because there is an extensive list of how you've done so many great things in your college career. But take us on your journey through college, how that was for you, and how kind of everything just kind of came together, and how we are now in front of the Hall of Famer Renee Washington. How did we get to that point?
Yeah, it's incredible, honestly. I didn't even expect when I started in 2010 to have nearly the success that I did, and to be someone that not only within LaSalle's sports programs, but the A10 and D1. I mean, I was literally ranked a top 50 female athlete across the NCAA, 3-time All-American, broke a lot of records, made a lot of history. And I didn't expect any of that. Like I said, sports it's just been who I am. And right. A lot of the aspects of my life, the accomplishments, the honors, weren't things that I set out to do. Obviously, you always want to be as successful as possible. But to me, success looked like just competing for a starting position and being able to play and being at a school where I knew I would enjoy playing for 4 years. I was not expecting nearly the amount of accomplishments that happened, but I just found myself learning so much as I was navigating through college about who I am on and off the field. I also ran track, which a lot of people don't know that I was a 2-sport athlete, and I graduated early. I finished in 3.5 years. So like it was for me, whether it was on the soccer field, I had 8 or 9 internships. I was a 2-sport athlete. I graduated early. I have always just been driven by the want to do more and want to achieve and be the best I can possibly be. And so once I got to LaSalle, it was time to be the best I could be, the best teammate I could be, the best student I could be. And I just loved it. And the only regret I have now that I work in professional soccer, covering the NWSL and working with MSG Networks, is I wish I could have played longer. I wish I had played longer, but right. I know everything works for my good. And I'm fully aware of the fact that I wouldn't be in this position, and things have lined up because of the drive that I have to continue to help now the next generation of soccer players, of women, of people of color, being able to help them have even a better experience than I did. But
see, I think wild. That's a very important message. I mean, because some people don't realize, that hard work, that determination that you take to keep things rocking and rolling. And you're a prime example. Now you obviously you went from Hall of Fame soccer, the soccer player, to now moving into the land of sports journalism, where I'm pretty sure one day the Hall of Fame will also come knocking. I'm just saying, I may be a little bit biased on that, but you know, you've taken this journey on the sports journalism route now. Like I said, working for ESPN, working for MSG. You know, when you made the leap to move into the sports journalism, how did that road come for you? And how are things obviously going well, but how are things continue to go for you?
Oh, it was a challenge because my undergraduate degree was in public relations. I had a double minor in Spanish and psychology. My master's was in educational leadership. And if you notice, none of these things are broadcasting. So I had to make a career switch because I had studied so many things, and I was able to pull from those things. Don't get me wrong. Being in communication, just under the PR field, and all these different things I was learning did help contribute to my shift. But it was a leap of faith that I was literally offered a full-time job versus an internship. And I took the internship towards what I wanted to actually do and a passion of mine. And I've had several leaps of faith since then that have helped me continue to grow in my career. And it hasn't been that long. It's been 7 years. And I remember setting out, I want to be on TV. I want to work in major sports. I want to cover professional sports. And I accomplished that within the first few years.
Right.
So now, just to continue to raise the bar, now I'm actually also knowing what I'm doing. Whereas before I was just kind of navigating in the dark, blind leading the blind. It's when I look back, it really is remarkable that I was able to take all my internships and things and experience and tweak it essentially to fit what I wanted to do and mold it and pull from it what I learned, my strengths, what I can add to a network, to a company, and to start to build my brand as a reporter. That now I've been able to literally say I cover every single sport, and I have covered it at either the college or the professional level. And that's what I have relied heavily on to separate me and to continue to move me forward, that I'm just also challenging myself that in this moment, there's always something to learn and there's always more to do within whatever I can control. So it was not easy. It was a lot of internships, transitioning into just, I remember applying for like a million jobs, and I finally got one, and I just took that one, which was the internship, which led to my first full-time job, and kind of kept going from there. So it's been a process.
And now we are rolling. There it is. I mean, like I said, it's a beautiful thing. And you know, I know you say you started 7 years ago, and that's about the same time that I started myself. And you know, it just there'll be times you're like, oh man, what am I? You know, you'll say, man, what am I doing here? You know, but I feel like the more and more I did it, the more and more I grew, I learned. I learned from great people like yourself, watching them flourish. You know, we're connected with so many people, the Ashley Bakers of the world, you know, the Kelsey Nicole Nelsons of the world. I mean, you know, there's so many people that we've got, you know, connections with, that we've seen just their growth, even in these just last couple of years, just take that leap. And you're one of them. You've done such an amazing job, and look at you now, rocking and rolling. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and head to our next segment. This is my favorite segment, y'all. I know I say it every show, but it really is, because it's just fun kind of seeing how everybody kind of reacts to the questions. And we've got the 100 episode edition, the Renee Washington edition of Quick Ones. Renee, are you ready for the Renee Washington version of Quick Ones?
Oh boy, let's do it.
Oh boy, I like that. I like that optimism. Here we go. Quick Ones. Renee, the first couple are I call them softballs. They just kind of get you going, and then the last two are just a couple of fun ones. Here we go. First on Quick Ones, your favorite sports moment.
Cleveland, this is for you. Cleveland, this is for you. Yeah, that literally is the first thing that came to mind, hands down. Now, I see you have a Miami Heat banner in the back, and yes, I'm a LeBron fan, and it could easily be when the Miami Heat won, but I think it's bringing a title back to Cleveland. That was definitely my favorite moment.
That's a good deal. I mean, you know, look, people's like, man, there's a lot of hate on LeBron these days. I think people hate him for the wrong reason. Because as an athlete, he's amazing. I mean, we go back and look at everything he's done, and just as a person, even outside of the thing, I mean, the things he's doing with the school, he's a great human being. He catch a lot of flack for the flops. Catch a lot of flack for the flops.
Whoa.
Come on. I'm just saying.
I'm a true LeBron fan from day one back in high school, and
right.
I get into so many conversations around it. My thing is, regardless, you have to respect greatness. You got to respect Kobe, Bron, Shaq, Jordan, Will. You got to respect everybody. Bill, okay? We have to give them their props. But also for LeBron specifically, to do what he's done over the course of 20-plus seasons,
right,
and get teams back to the finals. Now, we've seen across every sport how hard it is to get back-to-back, let alone year after year after year after year with different teams. So, again, there's a level of greatness that we take for granted because we're used to it. But let me know when you find another person that can get to as many finals and win championships like LeBron was able to do, and to play so far into their career, because as someone that's 30 years old, I can't even imagine still playing at such a high level 10 years from now. Like, it just, he's defying so many odds, and there's not many people that have been able to do it. In addition to, like you said, also off the court doing phenomenal things in his communities that require time, a lot of attention, a lot of even just selflessness, that you can continue to be so great and continue to help others people along the way and lift as you climb. So
yeah, I mean, I think I feel you, because, like, you know, the thing about LeBron for me, the thing that I've always appreciated is, like, you know, people always want to compare him to Jordan, and I think that's the problem. You know, stop comparing him to Jordan. First of all, you should be comparing him to Magic, but that's another story for another day. You know, but each generation has their own great player. Like that's just a GOAT, you know? I mean, that 10-year span, let's be honest with you, LeBron, he pretty much handled everything from 2010 to 2020. You know, Kobe had his stretch. Yeah, Kobe had his stretch. Mike had his stretch. You know, Magic and Bird had their stretches. It's just like, you know, it's always got to be who's better than it. They're not the same player. Mm-hmm. They're just not the same player. So it's always going to be a hard thing.
You know what I also tell people that we take for granted? What is the most scandalous thing we've ever heard about LeBron in the news? Now, knock on wood, I'm not jinxing him. Yeah, but think about every single legendary player, Tiger, like across
Jordan's got some low to come through, yeah.
At some point gets caught up in a major headline or scandal or fidelity, whatever it is. Haven't had that with LeBron. Yeah. I mean, we've had small things. He's human. We've had small things here and there. But
I think the worst thing, here's the funny thing, and we'll move on after this. There's two things about LeBron that just drives me. So the worst thing that they always give him on is the decision. If that is the worst thing that you can get him on, especially he still donated the proceeds to a children's, like, so in the end, it's like you're bashing him for him, you know, helping kids out in the process, but yet that's his worst thing. And the only other thing
advocating for players to have a voice, and we're still seeing that today.
Right. And I think the only other thing I can think of is the time he kicked that lady off the sideline. It was like she got to go. And that's all the worst things you hear about LeBron, you know, other than people just hating him because he ain't Jordan.
Bingo.
Yeah. Oh. Next one on quick ones. All right. I hate to go from favorite, but let's go to your worst sports moment.
Oh, I don't know that I have one.
It could also be personal too. I mean,
oh, that's true. Oh gosh.
I think I opened up a
yeah, you know, like a whole can right there, because I was awful with losing, and so I would say my sophomore year, my team was undefeated all season. We broke all these records. We were like, it was like the shot heard around the world. Like, I was National Player of the Week for 1 week. Like, we were just the top of, like,
just killing it.
Soccer, and we were ranked the highest we'd ever been. And then we lost. We had to buy the first round of the A10 tournament. We lost in the semifinal. Oh, I guess that actually was the quarter. No, it was the semifinals. We lost the semifinals, got upset, and I remember just bawling my eyes out. It was really embarrassing when I look back on it and how hard I cried. But I felt the pressure, like I had let people down, because I was an All-American. That was my first season as an All-American. There was a lot of pressure on me to lift the team, even though I was just a sophomore.
Right.
And I felt that pressure, and I just bawled my eyes out. I was depressed. My family was there, fortunately, because they took me with them, and they were just like, "It's okay, Renee."
Oh, man.
Stop crying. But I cried for days, and it was just so embarrassing. Now when I look back, I'm saying it's embarrassing. I was in the locker room wailing like somebody had died. But in my mind, somebody did die. Our hopes and dreams.
Not the funeral cry in the locker room. Ah, no, like
wailing. I actually cried every time I lost, all the way up until I retired. Not okay, I know, but it's fine.
I'm pretty sure you didn't lose that much neither, though.
I didn't lose that much, and that's exactly what it was. And all my teams. My high school team was #1 in the country. My college team was top in the A10. I could literally count how much I lost. So when we lost, I was, but that was, still to this day.
I don't need you crying. Look, I don't want to bring up too many bad memories. I was
I am so competitive and I am so cutthroat with winning, and that's what has helped me be successful. But when it doesn't go my way, I used to struggle.
Look, virtual hug. It'll get better. Next one on quick ones. Who was your favorite athlete growing up?
It was Allen Iverson, and then it shifted to be LeBron James. And I used to go to all the Sixers games. Being in Philly, I grew up in Jersey. We used to go to all the games. My family, we would have the jersey, the headband, the sneakers, the wristband, the elbow band, the finger sleeves, whatever. And so that actually was one of a close second to LeBron's Cleveland This Is For You championship, because that moment that the Sixers went to the finals in 2001 when AI stepped over Ty Lue, they lost 4-1 that series, but it was still, I was in like 4th grade, I want to say, pretty sure. And I just remember how exciting it was trash talking my fellow elementary school classmates and being all, So I was definitely an AI fan. And number 3 is still my favorite number to this day.
Yeah, that's a good deal. But you know what's funny about that series? Nobody remembers anything else in that series but the step over. You'd have thought they won the series. We know the Lakers won the series, but no one else. It wasn't even a close series. No one talks about anything else. If somebody say, "Hey man, talk about the 2001 NBA Finals," oh man, that's when Iverson stepped over Lou. Don't nobody remember the rest of that series. I'm pretty sure Shaq was MVP or something like that, but nobody remembers the rest of it. Nobody. It's crazy.
Going on to lose 4.
Right.
But for whatever reason, that series is hands down one of the most talked about, but it was not even a competitive 6 or 7 game series. And now as an adult, I look back, I'm like, 5. They lost in 5.
They lost 4 straight games. I think they ended up losing 4 straight games, or did they win the first one and lost the next 4?
They won the first, they lost 4. But they won in LA and lost everything else. But I do remember that team in general was exciting because they had a little bit of an underdog. Because actually, the Eagles Super Bowl, truth be told, is also up there for one of my favorite sports moments as an Eagles fan. And I raced into Philly. But for whatever reason, that also is one of like those iconic Philly sports moments for sure.
Yeah, well, Phillies gave a chance last year. They made a little run. They won it back in, I think, 2008. So it's been a while. Who knows? I mean, Philly was in the Super Bowl last year. We'll see which Philadelphia team makes a run back at a championship.
I'll talk about that for a reason.
I
teetered around that for a reason, because that was up there when you said worst moments.
You was about to put that in there. You was like, look, man, let me tell you how I feel.
Maybe not. It's still fresh. It's too fresh.
It's too fresh. All right, let's go to our last 2, the fun ones. First one, worst ice cream that you ever had? Worst ice cream you've ever had?
Anything that's those overly like healthy, rich ice creams. I love dessert. Dessert is low key. What people don't know about me is I will eat dessert. I do eat dessert every day. I maybe a week ago or so bought a whole thing of cupcakes, and yes, I ate a cupcake every single day myself. Am I worried about it? No.
This is my treat. I will eat this treat when I decide.
So I hands down love, but I love the sugary. It's not healthy at all. And one day I'm going to stop, I promise, when life catches up to me.
Yeah, you know how it works.
But anything that's those like I'm not a big red velvet fan, and like those fancy things, I feel like I love the basic chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, cookies and cream.
Right.
All the sugar, ice cream, cupcakes.
Don't give me I'm a big Bluebell fan, so don't give me the cookie 2-step with cookie dough and
complicating things. Keep it simple. Let's stick to the basics.
Just give me my butter.
Cold Stone ice cream though with like birthday cake batter, cookie dough flavor. I like to experimenting with those, but that's it. Nothing. If it's expensive, I probably don't like it. That's so sad.
I think Cold Stone's probably the best ice cream shop. That's in my opinion. Like I just feel like if you want good ice cream, it's gonna cost you a little bit. But if you want good ice cream,
Dairy Queen though. But I don't consider that an ice cream shop. I consider that just whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, just
spot.
It's a good deal. It's a good deal. Okay, all right. So we know your worst ice cream. We know the favorites. So the basics there. Last one on quick ones before we move on to our next segment. You're going on a girls trip, Renee. All right, you can take 3 celebrities with you. Who are you taking on this girls trip? And where would y'all go? And your choice. Where would you go? 3 celebrities on this girls trip. Who's going with you?
Well, B is number 1.
Yeah, you got to take Beyonce.
Beyonce and I are already friends. She just doesn't know it.
Facts.
So we're going.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're going because we're not nearly in the same tax bracket. But in an ideal world, B and I are going on like a multi-trip stop. In fact, I don't even need anybody else. It could just be me and B. Don't need any other friends. And we'll make friends along the way. But I think if I had to choose 2 of the people, I always love Michelle Obama, but I don't think I'm going girls trip, Michelle. I think girls trip needs to be, who do I think is 2 other fun people? I feel like, ooh, this is tough.
See, I like this. I like when I can grab somebody there. This is a tough one. Good.
I'm trying to think like, do I go? Okay, I think I'm going to go Beyonce. I'm trying to think of who else I even like.
Who else do I even like?
I mean, a girls trip is. Let me. The reason I'm struggling, for those that are tuning in, why I'm stalling. Girls trips are very selective. You don't just take a girls trip with anybody.
Right. You got to pick
who I'm grabbing lunch with. Sky's the limit. But girls trip is like, we need to trust that you're going to pay your portion.
Right.
You're not going to bring any weird people into the room or whatever. Like, you're not going to have us fighting out in these streets. Like, there's a lot of trust with a girls trip. So I would probably take Beyonce and then 2 of my actual friends, like Ashley and maybe like one of my sisters.
Okay, we could do that. I mean, look.
Because you know what? I don't trust anybody else, to be honest.
I don't trust anybody else. Like, I'm sorry. Beyonce, Ashley, and my sis. That's all I need.
And if we're going out for like brunch, I probably am bringing Michelle. She seems like a great time, and I feel like we can have some great conversation. But she's not going to go on the girls trip because she's not.
I was about to say, you just might as well take Destiny's Child with you, but I don't know if that's going to work out.
Not that Michelle Obama.
I know Michelle Obama. I was just saying, like, maybe you could take.
I do love Kelly Rowland, but again, Kelly. I need to trust like
everybody.
If I was to bring like a Cardi B, like I like Cardi or
I was about to say Cardi
or Issa Rae, but I need to trust we're not going to be out here in these streets acting a fool too much. Just my level of tomfoolery.
Hey, I was about to say, well, oh man, what's the name? I said, well, if you may not want to take Destiny's Child because they let Michelle fall on the ground, they just kept moving. You don't need that.
Michelle.
Yeah, you don't need Michelle. Yeah, you don't need that type of energy.
I'm good. I think it's just Beyonce. That's it. Life is made at that point. I don't care who else is there.
That's great. All right, that was it for the Renee Washington version of Quick Ones here on 101. You see, you made it through. It wasn't too bad.
That was fun. Now I'm still trying to think of who else I'm bringing, but
don't worry. And look, by the end of the show, which should be here soon, I think you might have somebody in mind. But before we do it, let's go ahead and leave your legacy. Hey, so before we get to this segment, we want to say thank you for coming on to celebrate episode 100 with us. I didn't go and do some sparkles or anything like that because we still got a long ways to go in this journey, but definitely reaching a milestone here with Miss Renee Washington. Very glad to have you coming on with us and telling us your story. We do truly appreciate that.
Well, thank you for having me. I feel like we should have definitely had like popping some champagne or get some, like something. I got a Snapple. Woo!
There you go. I think I got a drink over there somewhere. But like I said, we do truly appreciate you coming on and joining for the show. But before we get out of here, we want you to leave your legacy. So just want to know, what type of sports legacy do you want to leave behind when it's all said and done and you done hung up the microphone and you're kicking back and you're relaxing, you're on your girls trip with Beyonce and your sister and Ashley and y'all drinking pina coladas? I just want to know what type of legacy you want to leave behind in the game.
Well, as Beyonce says in her song, I was here, that I was here. I lived, I loved, I was here. In all seriousness, I do want to leave a legacy that changes the game. You know, I take great pride in trying to diversify myself in my career, in my family, in my life, in even my entrepreneurial endeavors. So for me, I feel like we only have one life to live that we know of. And so it goes by so fast. So why waste time, you know, with the what ifs and overthinking? And so my legacy is that you can do it all. I was often told, like, you're doing too many things, you're stretching yourself too thin, yada yada yada. And why not? We're gonna be stressed out regardless, is what I would say.
At some point, yes.
Always something stressful. Your finances, your health, your family, your job, always something. So at least be stressed out while you're pursuing what makes you happy. And so I want to leave a legacy of impact that allows people to feel confident that they can do it all, whatever that looks like for them. They can stretch the limits. They can think outside the box. They can be different, and they can be accepted while they're doing that. Like, I very actively speak up against things that I don't think are right, or against things that, whether it's personally or that I see. And I want to be able to also create a future that allows people to be included, regardless who you are. So they don't have to deal with the same crap that I've dealt with and the same things that I've seen, but they can enjoy pursuing their passions, whatever that may look like. So it's beyond just the games that I've won or the accomplishments and the honors. I'm hoping that I can empower and instill this mindset on others that you control what you can control. You have the right attitude and carry yourself with the right integrity, that you're doing things right and not rushed. And the sky's the limit from there. So the legacy of a positive mindset and attitude in everything that you're doing.
Ladies and gentlemen, words to live by from Miss Renee Washington. Now, Renee, before we exit here, let everybody know where they can find you.
I am everywhere at Renee P. Washington. It's very easy to find me. Literally not any, because there's some new social media out there and I'm half on it. So Twitter, Instagram,
trends.
TikTok. Yeah, I'm not plugging that. I am on it though, but I post
I've posted one post on there just to say I've done it, and that's it.
As quickly as it came out. Okay, people are already off of it, so it's like Clubhouse basically at this point. But yes, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, my website, ReneePWashington.com. Everything's at Renee P. Washington except for Twitter, because my full name doesn't fit, and that's just Renee P. Washington.
It just doesn't fit. Next week, ladies and gentlemen, episode 101. So that's kind of funny because we're gonna have 101 here on 101. But episode 101 next week, 101. My guy will be joining us, the rally captain, Stephen Boyd, host of the DMV Mess Hall, owner of SB Events and RC Apparel. Look, man, rally captain, one of the biggest Commanders fans in the game. If you've been to a Commanders football game, I promise you've seen rally captain at some point. You can't miss the W. It's massive. The W is just there. Or at the time, the Redskin logo, whatever it may be, or the Washington football team logo, it was there. Our man Rally Captain will join us next week here on 1-on-1. With that being said, everybody, thank you all. Truly appreciate you all for tuning in. We thank the wonderful, amazing, and beautiful Renee Washington for joining us for episode 100 here at 1-on-1. I am Darrell Owens. This is the lovely Renee Washington. We will see you all next time.
Legacy Maker, the All Sports Network.
Welcome to the 1-on-1. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the